Thailand has a secret weapon to bring back tourists. It's been told to be avoided by Americans altogether, and it's also trying to help the stranded tourists in Thailand currently suffering from the Ukraine and Russia invasion. That's all coming up on today's Good Morning Thailand. Hello and welcome to Good Morning Thailand, sponsored by Coffee Culture and Twin Palms Residences Montezor with Jet Gunter.
Hello. That was so impressive. You did the intro of the balcony in that 5-second cut. You ran straight here to the set.
It's what I do for the viewers.
You're such a legend.
I've improved my fitness.
Yeah.
Yes. But yes, welcome. I'm Jay, and welcome to Good Morning Thailand. Once again, Jet joining us in the hot seat. You're going to be joining us all week.
All week until Thursday.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So
yeah,
Jet's
for better or for worse.
Yes. So if you love it, then
give
great.
it a like.
Yeah.
If you don't, well, there's plenty of other videos on YouTube.
There we go. That's how we get the viewers.
That's how it is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, we always have timestamps on our video. We're going to put them after the live show, so you can skip to the part that you want. But we have a couple of topics we'd like to talk about today, and we're going to start with Thailand offering aid to stranded tourists. Now, the tourists I'm talking about are the Russian and Ukrainian tourists that are still left behind in Thailand. Now, that's something really nice, I thought. Now, there's about 7,000 tourists, Russians and Ukrainians, in Thailand, and the government is thinking about packages and measures that they can take to help these tourists, including giving them 1 month extra visa or visa extensions, which normally cost 1,900 baht, but I believe they're just going to give them out for free. They're also going to help them if their flights have been cancelled and they can't basically afford to go back home currently because of the situation. The government's also going to try to give them shelter, and I thought that was really nice. I mean, obviously, is it expected? Most probably. Russians are they were number one in the tourists that actually have come to Thailand since the Test and Go reopened properly. What do you think about that? Any initial opinions?
I'm pleasantly surprised by how accommodating the Thai government is towards the stranded Russians. Yeah. I mean, it is the sensible and Ukrainians. Yes. It is the sensible thing to do, and I never thought I would say kudos for your policies this time.
Yeah, we were talking about this, and we were like, wow, they did the right thing.
They did the right thing. I mean, right? Because it's not the fault of the Ukrainians or the Russians for the actions of their leaders. And so they shouldn't be suffering the consequences. And like you said, Ukrainians and especially Russians, they make up a vast majority of the tourists that come to Thailand. Yeah. So obviously they're just repaying the favor. So it's very nice of them to do that.
Yes.
Thank you, Prayut.
Yes.
Never thought it.
Yeah. Regarding transactions via the Russian banks and credit cards for people who can't, some of them, their cards are blocked, and because of the inability to use SWIFT, some banks have been closed altogether. They've also basically found a new payment platform called Union Pay, which is Chinese, and they're going to offer this channel to the Russian visitors so that they can actually be able to use their cards or a payment method while they're here.
Yeah, this whole cutting people off from the Western SWIFT system is just bizarre because it's not doing anything. It's like, all right, congrats for making the lives of Russians inconvenient and encouraging them to find other options and not rely on the Western financial system. So long term, this is actually going to damage them. So we're going to there's going to be other alternative payment rails than the stranglehold of the Western SWIFT financial system.
Well, I think the SWIFT financial system, mainly affects the targeted people like the Russian government and Putin, and make their life as difficult as possible and make it difficult for them to transfer money in and out of the country. But yeah, like you said, like the people that suffer the most are the people.
Yeah. Yes.
Are the Russian people, the Ukrainian people, and anyone who has to deal with the Russian bank system.
And it further highlights how this can be used as a weapon to cancel people, to silence people, to sanction people. And like I said, it's probably just going to prompt people from around the world to also seek out Plan Bs and alternative financial systems. apart from just the Western system that they can be used to silence anyone.
Yep. Hopefully these government plans do go ahead, and if the people do need them, it is offered, because like always, some of these are for sure, like the visa extensions, and the government does plan to offer them shelter if needed. But the other things I mentioned are proposals. So hopefully these proposals actually happen and don't just end up being proposals. The Russian government is also may arrange repatriation flights for their citizens who are currently stuck. However, Thailand will not deport any tourists back home without their consent. That's also another thing that I liked. At present, there are currently about 3,500 to 4,000 Russian tourists in Phuket, around 300 to 400 travelers from Ukraine. This is just Phuket, and other parts of Thailand, especially Phang Nga, Krabi, and Pattaya. I believe that's where the highest amount of Russian and Ukrainian tourists lay in Thailand. All right. Talking about tourists, before we move on, Carmel's got a question.
So sorry for interrupting you. There were two people that suggested, like, what if Russians just moved to crypto? Like,
That was actually...
What if they just moved to crypto? They very well can, because crypto, especially decentralized networks like Bitcoin,
Yes.
are permissionless. Anyone can participate in the network. You can buy Bitcoin via an exchange, or even if an exchange is censored or shut down, you can buy them peer-to-peer using cash. And this is where the value proposition of cryptos, especially Bitcoin, come into play, because they're agnostic to politics. It's an open network that anyone can participate in, very similar to like BitTorrent, where anyone can host files and not be censored and all like that. So this is actually underscoring the value proposition of these open networks.
Well, currently it's only a suggestion. The Tourism Association has spoken to the government, said that for emergency use of cryptocurrencies for the tourist may be a good alternative payment system in this situation, and for any crisis in the future as well. So it's possibly a great solution even for the future.
But what most people don't understand is that the majority of cryptocurrency projects, 99.9% of them, are just basically, they're not decentralized. They're essentially startups issuing tokens. And then if you're a startup, you have a CEO, well then you can be censored. You're not properly decentralized. So it's not a viable solution. So yeah, the solution is to look towards crypto, but then you have to go further and look at which cryptos are actually truly decentralized, having their nodes and miners truly scattered and diversified across the world and can't be censored, no single point of failure or chokehold.
All right. Well, our next topic is, again, talking about tourists, in particular American tourists who've actually been told by their CDC to avoid Thailand. Americans. Well,
I'd be curious to see if that actually impacts any of the tourism numbers. I think people don't give a darn.
I believe U.S. is, if not number 2, number 3 on the list of the highest amount of tourists coming from that country. So the CDC on Monday did come out and say, urge Americans to avoid travel to Thailand and Hong Kong and New Zealand and a host of other countries, actually. I've got a total number for you. I believe in total it's, they've been told to avoid travel to about 135 countries, which I'm just going to conclude as the government's come out and said, don't travel outside of America.
I think
are people actually going to listen to that? Who knows?
I think people who are not going to travel will continue to not travel, and people the daredevils and wanderlusts will continue to travel and take the necessary precautions.
Bad news for Thailand, because there are those people who do like to follow the rules. Like, you're right, the people who want to travel, they travel, the free spirits, the travelers, but there are those people who are like looking forward to that vacation, and then the government comes out and says, hey, I don't think you should travel there. And then if it's not you, it's your mom or your dad or a senior in your family, and they're scared, and then you might not travel because of that. So that's a whole family lost in terms of
I
tourists.
Guess that's a good point. There probably will be a sizable chunk of that demographic that would be deterred by that. So, but then, like you said, to put context around this, they didn't single out Thailand specifically. It was
Yes,
part of
it was
a
a
list
lot of-
of
yeah.
135 countries.
Yeah, Thailand, I believe, is on level 4, which is a very high, and they have about 33 other destinations on level 3, which is just high. So, yep, they have been urging people not to go to Thailand as of Monday. Talking about some more bad news, for all you instant noodles lovers, unfortunately, instant noodles is going to be more expensive. As well as condensed milk, if you like to. Okay, so let me ask you, Jet, do you like your mama noodles?
What are mama noodles?
What?
What?
Yeah, shut up. You know what mama noodles are.
I'm
How
making a
dare you?
Haiso Jet joke.
That's almost unpatriotic.
Yeah, I like the Tom Yum Goong mama noodles.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Well, to anyone who's been to Thailand, you perhaps have tasted mama noodles, which is the most famous instant noodles in Thailand. Unfortunately, they will be more expensive.
Record levels of sodium.
Yeah, and probably MSG.
I
and-
recommend like changing the water that you boil it with
It's-
to reduce the sodium count and only put in half of the.
You know
the
what? Nobody
spiciness of
cares.
the
Nobody cares because
Oh my-
it's just a can of holiness. That's what it is. It's amazing.
Really?
Yes. And also condensed milk. So the next time you have your
Condensed
roti with condensed milk, unfortunately, you'll be paying a bit more. Is it significant? No.
Well, like how much is this a price hike of 2 baht?
No, the wholesale price will increase by 0.25 baht.
Oh my goodness.
For instant noodles, and 2 baht per can for condensed milk.
Wait, 0.25 baht.
Yes.
So
I'm
from-
guessing per pack.
So it'll be 5 baht, and it'll be up to 5.25 baht.
Yeah, and imagine if you buy it in bulk. So if places like Macro, when they buy it in bulk,
Yeah.
they're gonna charge. So imagine you normally pay what, 10 baht for 1 pack, 5 baht for
No,
1
Jay,
pack.
it's like 4 baht, I think. 4
Okay,
or 5 baht.
4 or 5 baht if you buy like the big pack in Macro. But imagine if you had to start paying 8 baht. Pandemonium on the streets,
Yeah.
riots. How dare you deprive me of my right to have my
mean,
instant noodles after a couple
If
of
you look
beers at
throughout-
night?
If you look throughout time, inflation prices of goods and services continuously rise all the time, and there are certain times in the economy that there's a spike, and during this time is one of them because you've got like supply chain issues and government debt and government printing out money and debasing currency. So inflation is going to seep into all goods and services during this time.
Okay, before I take a question from Kamal, do you prefer ramen or instant mama noodles? There's a right and wrong answer here.
I do prefer the ramen noodles.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Of course he
the
does.
the chewy.
Look at him with his.
They're like thicker and more chewy.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
quite nice, but
Yeah, I like the Korean ones actually with the spicy
oh,
Korean
those
paste.
extremely spicy
No,
ones.
no. Well, maybe I don't put in the whole packet. I can.
No love for
Control.
condensed milk. Do you enjoy your roti with condensed milk?
I do not partake in roti.
No.
It's carbs, deep fried, and doused with.
No wonder they
It's
call you a
good.
fake Thai.
It
Yeah.
is
all
very
makes sense
good.
now.
What you're missing
You
out.
don't like condensed milk in your coffee?
Good lord! Do not give me a condensed milk coffee.
Kamal, you've got a question.
So you said you really love instant noodles, right?
Who doesn't?
Okay,
Who doesn't
so
love
Sick-
mama noodles?
Sick
Sorry.
Puppy said instant noodles is the worst thing you can add to your body. The worst is McDonald's. Stay away from KFC, Taco Bell, and anything that is instant. What do you have to say about that?
Okay.
Touche. That's words of
I
wisdom
never
right
said
there.
it's-
Like,
yeah, I never
if you
said
did
it's healthy.
nothing at all to your
Yeah.
health except cut those things out from your lives,
Yeah.
like you'd be like 30-40% better already.
Yeah. Is it extremely healthy? Unhealthy? Yes.
Yes.
Is it basically garbage for your body?
Yes.
Does it taste amazing, especially late night?
It hits home.
It hits home.
Yeah, yeah.
Caramel. You see that? It's you're born with it.
It's home.
All right.
Yeah.
Our last topic before we go to the break is regarding the health ministry. The Department of Mental Health coming out today, or yesterday rather, saying excessive news consumption causes stress. So don't read too much news, or you will be stressed.
Tell me about it. But
Which makes a lot of sense when you actually think about it. But yeah, they've basically come out and said too much reading of the news and paying too much attention to what's going on is not great for your mental health.
yeah, Here's a question. I mean, you work in news.
Yes.
Do you follow any other news apart from, like, if you go home, do you continue to consume news?
When I get home, no, I try not to, if I'm being completely honest. So my
Yeah.
day would consist of, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I've got to see, okay, what's going on in the world, main headlines. I start with BBC, I go to the Bangkok Post. Okay, the world seems okay. What's going on in Thailand? Thailand seems okay. Okay, then I get to work. Then
So you do check the news?
yeah, all the time.
All the time?
But then that's part of the job. I didn't do this before I was working before I would just be like, main headlines, BBC. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
The world's not on fire yet.
Yeah.
Do you?
No, I try to stay away from the news. It'd be surprising. I'm pretty clueless outside of TNT and GMT.
Okay.
But then I do use Twitter a lot. And
Yeah.
There's a lot of international news on Twitter.
Yeah.
So
I guess, I mean, now it's like, it's not just traditional websites like go to BBC, go to, The Guardian, whatever it is that you. I just mentioned British
Preston says, I thought Jay
newspapers.
goes home after GMT, no? No, man.
Preston.
You
People just think I come for the show and that's it.
No,
Yeah.
man. You're hard at work running this entire show all day long, right? This entire network.
I guess. I mean,
yeah.
but yeah, believe it or not, I do have to stay here after.
Yeah.
Because the reason I try to end the show earlier is because we've got to go work on all the other shows, which are
Yeah.
have to be produced. Believe it or not, we actually do a little bit of work to make that happen. But yeah, at some point of the day, you have to cut out. But yeah, now it's like social media, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, traditional websites. I mean, nobody uses, at least in this office, traditional newspapers, but there's
Screen
news
time.
everywhere, no matter where you look. And
Time.
the reason the Thailand Department of Mental Health came out and said it's not just COVID news, but even like the news that's been dominating the last 2 weeks is regarding the celebrity death of Dang Mo. There's been conspiracy theories and there's been opinions and made up stories, and this person has that opinion, and everybody's going nuts about their opinion and their take on this news.
Sorry,
where-
I was looking up my own.
Oh, it's okay.
But you've already moved on to another topic. So.
Oh, sorry.
Go
No,
on,
I
go
mean,
on.
it's the same topic, but the reason people's obsession with news it's not just news, because it ends up being speculation.
So screen time on
Yeah.
iPhone shows you your daily average.
So your daily average is 5 hours.
5 hours.
Wow.
But the average for
Okay.
the average Thai is above 6 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then it shows you what apps you spend most of your time on.
Yes, it
See.
does.
See
Safari. You're just searching things on the web.
Yeah, lots of YouTube.
You're on the line. Well, it is suggested for people to consume a reasonable amount of news and exercise, but you need to break away to calm your thoughts and do some other activities. That's actually good advice.
Yes.
So,
Sad that
Good
they
on
have to
you.
say that.
Yeah.
That they've had to say that as a public service announcement.
Well, that's the
so
thing.
what do you do outside of Thaiger, Jay? Apart from your taekwondo splits.
this is just okay. This is all. What do I do outside? We often, Tiger and the company that we share an office with, Fazbas, we often have weekly football sessions.
Really?
Yeah, we had laser tag last week. We'll probably go kart this weekend. So that's why you need to be in Bangkok, so you can socialize with your colleagues. Because it's important, during the day. I mean, we're all like, we have to pay attention to the news. We're doing 4 shows a day. We're doing 2 shows on the weekend, if not 3. So you got to let loose somehow.
Okay.
What do you do on your free time? You're always busy yourself.
Well, I'm just chatting with you guys all the time, sipping my coffee and bothering you guys.
But when
right?
you're not doing the news, you're heavily invested into real estate and doing your own YouTube videos.
That's true. Yeah, there's a big chunk of that. I read a lot, like business books, and I read a lot of fiction, and I work out, and I play sports and all like that.
Yeah.
And I like to go out on the weekends.
All right. To end this last topic about excessive news consumption causes stress, I'm going to end with this statement from one of the spokesperson. If individuals suffer from FOMO, they may have unpredictable moods and anxiety when they're not watching the news. Do you have FOMO? Do you know what FOMO is?
Trying to think about.
That is correct. Our young, what are you, Gen Z, Kamal? Oh no, Carmel's a boomer. She's 83.
Yes,
I do
totally,
get
yes.
FOMO, especially Instagram, if I see like, oh my goodness, like people hanging out at this
Yeah.
lovely new resort in Hua Hin, and
Yeah.
it's like, wow, I gotta be there.
Yeah.
So I do suffer the FOMO. I do feed the FOMO a little bit.
Yeah, everyone has a FOMO in one way or another. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who do not know what FOMO is FOMO, fear of missing out. As in when you see something cool happening, whether your friends are doing it or everyone's doing it, you have a fear of missing out and therefore you do it as well or want to do it. And that's a new word for today. All right, with that, we're going to take a break. Once we come back from the break, we're going to be talking about Thailand's new secret weapon to bring back tourists, as well as a luxury resort was burnt down in total in 10 minutes. An entire luxury resort, 5-star hotel. How did that happen? Find out after the break. Welcome back after the break. You're watching Good Morning Thailand, sponsored by Coffee Culture, as well as Twin Palms Residences Montezor. Have you ever had Coffee Culture coffee?
No.
Not yet.
No.
We've got to fix that because
Yes.
you
I
get,
keep, yeah.
we've got
keep
all the
saying
big
that.
packs. Yeah,
Okay.
we've got all the big packs, but you can buy your Coffee Culture mugs and the coffee at coffeeculture.asia.
So you have a bag. We have a bag of Coffee Culture.
I'm not gonna lie, we have about 10.
Really? What
Yeah.
roast?
We've collected them. I've tried the Brazilian kick and the Italian roast.
Wow.
I believe Natty likes something with honey in it.
Wow, I should have brought my mocha pot and grinder then, so I
Yeah.
can make it in the morning
Well-
at my hotel.
Oh, cool. Well, we have a coffee machine at the office, so we're going to hook you up.
Okay.
The pro benefits of working in Bangkok. I'm secretly trying to get Jet here. All right. As well as Twin Palms Residences Montezor, you can now own a piece of paradise
Yes.
in Kamala,
Otherwise,
Phuket.
you will suffer from FOMO.
Yeah, it is in Kamala, Phuket, by the way, so check out their website, link in the description below. It's now time for 2 Minutes Thailand. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like to take this moment to say Happy International Women's Day. And would like to take this opportunity to say how fortunate we are to have the amazing women, not only in our lives, around the world, but also in this office. Happy International Women's Day to you, Carmel, as well as everyone else. Here's
Thank
a 2
you.
Minutes Thailand to find a little bit of history regarding Thai women and their hairstyles over the years. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're still live because our 2 Minutes Thailand video is having a little bit of a technical issue, but it's
Oh.
okay. How are you feeling, Jet?
FOMO. Feeling
FOMO?
FOMO, having
Yeah.
not seen that 2-minute scoop. Was it
Scoop.
Was it Nan who did it? It's like
Yes.
a thing by Nan?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Nan does a video every day, and she basically does a 2 minute roundup of different cultures and aspects of Thailand. And you can also actually find these videos on Bounce, which is our second channel by the Thaiger. It's full of fun and entertainment. And yeah, we're on the process of making thumbnails and uploading them because normally we insert them in Good Morning Thailand. Now we're going to break out those videos and individually post them because a lot of people have been asking about it. And it's got things like, you know, the Monkey Festival in Lopburi. It's got buffalo racing in, where was that? Where was the buffalo racing in Carmel?
Somewhere in the south, right?
Chonburi,
Chonburi.
I guess.
Really?
And then it had,
Not Pattaya?
I learned that somtam was from Laos.
Somtam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, often considered the national dish of Thailand. It's actually from Laos. So yeah, Nan's been doing a great job
I mean,
since she's joined our team.
Thai chili peppers came from North America anyway, so we're all borrowing
Did
everyone's.
they?
Yes, chili peppers came from the Western Hemisphere.
Thai? Why is it called Thai red chili then?
Well, because eventually they mutated and evolved and all like that. But originally, the chili peppers came from the Western Hemisphere, Central America.
I see.
So anyway, my point is like we all borrow something from somewhere.
Okay. We'll borrow something from somewhere. All right. Let's just go on to our next topic, which is actually regarding Thailand's secret weapon to bring back tourists. Now, warning, ladies and gentlemen, this secret weapon, we're going to have to use a code word to talk about this secret weapon, because every time we mention that word on YouTube or use any pictures about that topic, we get flagged.
Yeah.
Which means that we're using either graphic content or we're using
Inappropriate
inappropriate
gray
language
area kind of
yeah.
stuff that's maybe
Yeah.
skirts the legal guidelines
of YouTube.
of YouTube.
Yes,
And,
so-
but you know what we're talking about.
I hope you know what we're talking about, because one public health official has come out and said that Thailand has a secret weapon to bring back tourists. It's the green leaf.
The green leaf.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint, hooray.
The green leaf.
The green leaf. So now you know what we're talking about.
Yes. Some experts and officials hope that decriminalizing the green leaf,
The green leaf.
alongside declaring COVID-19 as endemic, will help tourism in Thailand bounce back to pre-pandemic levels. As soon as I read that, I thought, firstly, I personally feel that's a ridiculous thing to say. I don't think that the green leaf and calling it an endemic is enough to bring it back to pre-pandemic levels. We need to get rid of all the restrictions to ever even think about achieving pre-pandemic levels, and hope that we have the same amount of tourists who are willing to come back to the country and afford to come back to the country, depending on the different impacts the pandemic has had on tourists and people all around the world.
Yeah, I mean,
The green leaf.
not
they're
at
just-
this
yeah.
rate.
Yeah.
Like, do you see, like, dispensaries all around Bangkok?
Yes.
Where are you getting this stuff? Like,
These
and this is gonna
Yeah.
be the main attraction of Thailand?
That's right, and like all these pop-up stores and restaurants have opened up, and they're giving out products that have the green leaf
Yeah,
inside
but they don't
them.
get you
That's
up
exactly
there in
right.
the clouds. They've removed the whole point of
Yeah.
why people are interested in these things to begin with. You mean I'm gonna overpay for a infused popcorn that's like 3 times the cost, but then comes with that disgusting taste of the green
Yeah,
leaf, but
I
doesn't
don't
give
personally
you
like it,
the
yeah.
benefits of it?
Well, legally, you're only allowed to have 0.2% of
How can you even measure
THC
that?
chemical in it. But
Are we gonna go to every vendor and measure that? Like,
anything more than 0.2 is a percent is still illegal, contrary to other people's beliefs. So, not only do they have to change that law, they also think that by changing that law, people will all of a sudden come to Thailand only for that. Now they have one thing going on for them, which is Thailand is the only country in Asia to partially decriminalize the green leaf. And I was like,
yeah, but if it doesn't get you up there, what's
Yes.
the point?
maybe yes, that
I mean,
part, of course, they've got it wrong in that sense. They definitely need to increase that, the percentage of how high it can get you. However, yeah.
Try to not use that word, Jerry.
Yeah. The Secretary of the Public Health Commission, Kun Chatchai Trakul Kungsi, wow, also compared the strains of the Thai green leaf to jasmine rice.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
In light of their uniqueness, apparently, because Thai jasmine life is very unique, and so is the Thai green leaf.
I have to say though, the green leaf in its pure form, unadulterated, is actually world class.
Yes.
If only they would just leave the industry alone and just let it do its thing, then yes, maybe we have a chance of being the Southeast Asian Amsterdam,
Yeah.
but not by selling infused popcorn for 3 times the price that tastes disgusting and doesn't get you in the clouds.
Is it all
What
about
are
the
they
clouds?
thinking? Yes. Why else would you consume this stuff if not
FOMO.
to
FOMO.
like?
He also claimed,
It's like, all right, let's drink. Okay, we're gonna be the coffee capital of the entire world,
Yes.
but we're only gonna serve decaf.
yes,
Decaf only. We're
Yeah.
gonna beat Brazil. We're gonna beat Hawaii with
Guatemala,
our decaf coffee.
everywhere, yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan. Well, talk to your local official regarding
Yeah.
your issues and problems. Now, the Secretary of the Public Health Commission also came out and said he claimed that 9 out of 10 tourists want to try the green leaf in some form or another. 9 out of 10 tourists. I wonder where he got this number from.
What did they say again? Sorry, they wanted to try it.
No, yeah, that they wanted to try this.
Yeah, they want to try the
9 out of 10
stuff
tourists.
that gets you going.
Nine
Not
out-
the.
That's 90% of the tourists coming to Thailand want to try that. I highly doubt that because
did
there's
they
no.
go to a stoner bar in Phangan to interview these people?
There's no evidence to prove that as a fact. Where did he just randomly get that number from? 90% of the tourists in Thailand want to try the green leaf.
They must have went to
That's like
Phangan and Khao San and Pai.
that's like me saying 100% of people of the tourists drink coffee. I mean, yeah, probably if they're adults, but maybe not. Anyways, we often in Thailand we don't like to focus on the facts.
Yeah. Once again, a sad case of potential being strangled by people that want to micromanage it.
All right, we're going to take another quick break and come back with your live question and answers. So if you do have any questions, let those questions come now. We'll be back right after this. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back and we're going to try for a second time to see if our 2-minute Thailand video works. Noom, give it a go. Let's see if it works.
สวัสดีค่ะ Today is International Women's Day. So I wanted to pay tribute to Thai women and their beautiful hairstyles from the past. How many of these hairstyles do you know? All of these pictures show the normal hairstyle which all Thai women used to have. Let me tell you about each style. The first one, Song Kodong hairstyle. It is a hairstyle that has been popular since the Sukhothai period until the Ayutthaya period. The women with long hair will have their hair in the big bun in the middle of their head, decorated with a tiara or garland according to the occasion and their status. The second is Mahathai hairstyle. It originated in the Ayutthaya period when the country was at war. Women had to cut their hair short to blend it like men so what it would be easier to disguise themselves, but later changed from shaving the sides to long hair to look beautiful instead. The third is Pom Peak hairstyle. It is shaved or cut short around the sides. The tresses beside the ears are longer than the chin. The women use beeswax to keep their hair in shape and wash it with bergamot and ashes. And the last one is Dog Krathum hairstyle. It is a hairstyle that cuts an entire head of the hair and leaves it long, pointing up like a krathum flower and combing the front high, keeping it in shape with fragrant tiny flower oil. No clipping or styling with fresh flowers. It is a hairstyle that became popular in general during the reign of King Rama V. Do you like our vintage Thai women hairstyles? And which one do you like the most?
And welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Thailand, and those were the famous past hairstyles of Thailand.
I have to say, I'm so glad that we've since graduated from
Yes.
those parts.
Some of them were all right.
What if I did that part for the rest of the show?
Yeah, just split your hair in half.
Split my hair in
Pineapple
half. Let's
Express.
do it together.
What'd you call it? The Pineapple Express?
Pineapple Express.
Okay.
The green leaf
Well,
style.
I'd like to take a moment and once again to thank our women. Happy International Women's Day to all the women out there in the world. All right. Kamal, let's
Doesn't
take
work.
a couple of questions before we end the show.
Yes, before I move on to like the comments and questions from before, Preston, in the topic of Green Leaves,
Yes.
said that even when all the restrictions are lifted and every tourist is given a few free green leaves, I strongly doubt Thailand can get the tourist number back to pre-pandemic levels, at least not so soon.
I think yes. I think it'll take a year to 2 years to bring it even close to that number that they're looking for. 19 million tourists, I believe.
Well, we all know what it takes to bring it back to that number.
Yes. I don't think 0.2% power-infused green leaves will do the trick, or calling it an endemic.
Yeah.
Our own definition of the word endemic.
Yes.
All right. Anything else, Kamal?
Yes, when we were talking about how the Thai government was trying to be accommodating to Russians, Damien said that he heard Russians in Chiang Rai could go to a restaurant where they would be given a tab to get food while they can't get their money out. So yeah, even the people here in Thailand were trying to be accommodating
Oh
to
yeah,
Russians.
for sure. Like I think Thai people in general are very hospitable. They're very kind, and that's one of the things that I think all tourists in Thailand would agree with, is that when they do come here, one of the highlights of Thailand are the loving Thai people. And
Yes.
it's great to see examples of this, that in a time of crisis they're not judging anyone and they're just helping.
Yeah.
And rightfully so.
Yeah. Thai generosity, namjai.
No,
Yeah.
shy.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why people love coming here is the people, right?
So good for the Northerners.
Good for them.
I hope everyone can take this example and help everyone, all Russians, Ukrainians, whoever it is, no matter what nationality you come from, be that person who, is kind. Nothing bad comes from being good.
Okay,
Right,
moving
next
on.
question,
Right,
Carl.
okay.
Next question.
Carl,
Sorry,
that was your sign.
the
You're gonna
silence.
pick up
I'm
your
sorry.
social cues.
Okay, so Planet Dashing said that USA has travel warnings on every country, but no one listens. It's not going to stop them from,
That's right. They just travel in the planes and go, USA, USA. I don't know why, but just chanting that, it's just like the most chantable chant in the world. Is it?
course,
Is
yeah.
it the most chantable chant in the world?
Yeah, when the founding fathers tried to name the country, they tried to come up with the most catchy
Yeah.
abbreviation.
Yeah.
Three-letter abbreviation too.
Is it the founding fathers or is it modern Hollywood?
What? USA?
Yeah, just chanting USA.
I don't think the revolutionaries charged the British chanting USA
No, I
with their
No.
batons. USA. That'd be
no.
kind of cool though. Maybe that's why they won. The morale was so high. And then you got the other side. We're like, UK. Just isn't as catchy. UK.
I'm not going to comment about the
UK,
chants they
UK.
said during war.
No, not as
Yeah.
inspiring as USA.
Only an American would say that. All
Yeah.
right, swiftly moving on to another topic. Kamal.
Yes. When we were talking about mental health and news, Min Buri pointed out that it's best to keep off of social media in general. I guess once in a while, Facebook being one of the worst. People believe anything that is posted on there.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
too much of anything is bad for you.
Yeah.
I think that's all I have to say for that.
Just because it got a bunch of likes does not mean it's true.
Yes, that's also facts, yes.
Yes.
Also, you should not trust every Facebook post or social media post you see out there.
But someone did ask about Twitter then, because you said that you mostly look at Twitter. Someone was wondering how could you think that's a trustworthy source?
Well, it depends who you follow on
Yeah, it
Twitter.
depends who you follow. And the appeal of Twitter, and this is, I think, the reason why a lot of people follow Twitter, is because there's this, you kind of go direct to the source of the person who's saying it, because you're not, you follow organizations, but it's also, you get to follow the tweets from people that come straight from their train of thought or what they have to say. And then it turns into these tweet threads where people comment and talk and discuss, and they can tag people and bring people in. So it's a unique way of consuming information and discussing with people. And obviously you need to keep it concise to 100 and something words, so you need to get straight to the point. Then there's been tweet threads, and that's been pretty cool too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end the show there for now. It's been a pretty tightly run show so far, 40 minutes. I should have cut it about 5 minutes ago, but oh well, we went with the flow. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. 325 people watching. Please click the like button if you've enjoyed the show so far. And I'd like to take this moment to say thank you, Jet.
Thank you, Jay.
And thank you, Kamal, behind the laptop and the comments.
Yes,
thank
thank
you, Noon,
you.
behind the buttons. And thank you for the viewers for watching the show so far. We hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you tomorrow.